Hey. Hey, where's the public forum? Hey, good afternoon. We're going to go ahead and call this public forum to order, November 2, 4:31 p.m. Gary Sansing Public Forum is intended for matters not included on the agenda for the upcoming meeting. Citizens wishing to address items on the agenda, please sign up to speak to such item during the regular BCC meeting. Speakers, please refrain from abusive or profane remarks, disruptive outbursts, or any other conduct which interferes with the orderly conduct of the meeting. Each speaker is going to be limited to 2 minutes today unless otherwise determined by the chairperson to allow sufficient time for all speakers. Gary Sansing Public Forum may end 5 minutes before the scheduled start of the upcoming BCC meeting to allow the meeting to commence on time. First speaker this afternoon is going to be Tim Smith.
Tim Smith, 310 West Sunset Avenue. Come down here to talk about parking in Navy Point again. Talked about it in August. Talked about the double standard. We talked about how it was going to get corrected. Excuse me. I had a talk with the Sheriff's Department. We figured out what's going on with the parking. And I was really disappointed to watch the parking go in and then watch it get pulled out. I just don't understand what's going on, how they could get started on something like that and then totally reverse it. So I'm kind of pleading with the other districts here to maybe step in here because apparently we're not getting a fair say over there along the waterfront. It's just like Mr. Lumen said at the last meeting, if they can park in front of my house, why can't they park down there? So that's all I'm asking. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tim. Next speaker is Chris Cerb.
How y'all doing this evening? Been busy for me lately. I tell all my flood defenders just to tell their story. You guys like a good story, don't you? Well, I email that to you. Many of our flood defenders fear rain. I spent half my life embracing rain, doing my best to understand it, study it, learn how it works as it relates to stormwater management. Even as a child in Sunday school, when I learned about Genesis 6, Noah and the flood, I asked the question, why would the Lord destroy his creation like that with a flood? Well, the answer is corruption on the earth. 25 years with the Escambia County Engineering Department, I learned a lot. And I'm thankful for everything I learned. I was pretty much given an unofficial title of stormwater guru. The Lord saw fit to bless me with Flood Defenders Panhandle to follow my passion, which places my path in front of you at this dais today. Recently, my work landed a Pensacola News Journal editorial opinion that I wrote, and 2 Pensacola News Journal articles over a fight I'm having with Santa Rosa County on their LDC rewrite. Due to some crafty influence, Santa Rosa County plans to adopt, well, they did, but they want to abandon the science of hydrology. I tell you what, this fight ain't over. Monday night, I'm going to fill that room.
Chris.
Oh, thank you.
Next speaker is Jerry Price.
Hello, everybody. I want to thank each of you guys. You guys have taught me a lot up here in this 18 or 19 months that I've been coming up here. And I've talked a lot about on the homeless and panhandling. But I've learned that you guys can't do it all. And the homeless situation is probably one of the toughest issues to tackle. I know Steve has told me about the going to the landowners and talking to them about no trespassing signs and things like that. And that's helped me a lot because I've learned to do end runs. No help from the sheriff's department, and I like Sheriff Simmons, but I won't vote for him. If you guys can't do something about this panhandling, I can't vote for you guys either. You got people walking right down the road. You can't be out on the road. Sheriff won't get in there and do anything. You got a county attorney over here, supposed to be working with the sheriff's office, trying to come up with something that works. We haven't seen anything.
Thank you, Jerry. The next speaker is Jessica Schol.
One quick second, hold on. Hey, Jerry, if you stick around tonight, I think you'll be happy. There is an ordinance we're going to vote on. I know this is passionate to you, but scheduling the hearing, I mean, so stick around.
Turn it on now? Okay. Hi, my name is Jessica Schol. I'm an attorney here in town, and I've also a resident of Navy Point, and I have lived on Boblets for 10 years. I own 2 properties on Boblets. I understand that there's been some discussion about potentially putting parking in the right-of-way on Boblets, and that is a giant concern for me and many of my neighbors. I appreciate the county enforcing the no parking on Boblets. If there was to be parking on that road, it would be extremely hazardous for children. I have a young child, a 6-year-old daughter. My neighbor has a Down syndrome girl. There's lots of children from the interior of the neighborhood that come forward to park to the park and that are running back and forth. My neighbors all have young kids. Cars come down that water street very rapidly, and I could not think of a quicker way to have a dead kid on your hands. That could be from any one of your districts, to be honest, because this is a public park. A lot of people use it. There's ample parking. There's designated parking spaces. There's street parking all the way along Sunset and Triangle. I've actually been collecting photos throughout the week of vacant parking. Yes, during Blue Angels shows, we do have some people coming parking. I've done a public records request, but I have located one document where back in July it appears that a citizen was requesting parking for their contractors so that they didn't get cited. So I do have a couple of those documents, and it looks like that's potentially one of the driving forces. I would plead with you to not reverse the long-term no parking on the row that was instituted for everyone's safety and also to preserve this beautiful natural resource. This is probably the prettiest place on earth, very near and dear to my heart personally, and all of your constituents use it. So I appreciate all of your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jessica. Next speaker is Keith Bowe.
Briefly on the Navy Point parking, I would just like to see a few more handicap spaces. I understand all of the trials and tribulations. But what I'm here to do today is to thank Mike Kohler. It's been 1 year. Now he's been our county commission, and he has just made a tremendous difference in cleaning up District 2. So I just want to acknowledge that I'm trying to take on a more positive course when I address the dais here, and I just want to thank him for his leadership and his insight when he takes a look at every issue. So I don't need to bring up the domes because you know that he's qualified and really needs to take the lead on that and make it all work out. The only other thing I've got to ask is, committee of the whole, this is where all of the committees get together. It seems like there hasn't been one, at least since Mike has been a commissioner and since I've been paying attention. I think we could get a whole lot more done with committee of the whole, where you could have conversations in the sunshine and get some of these things worked out. And if I only had one more thing to say, I would say we need to have less court battles. We seem to be losing a lot of money and a lot of everything in these court battles. And I'm not going to highlight the couple of recent ones, or I should say 3. But I think we can get more done with the communication. And maybe that's where committee of the whole needs to be done. So, but once again, thank you, Mike. We appreciate you. All of District 2 does. And I know you've made a difference, and your colleagues here, I think, can accept that as well. And I thank all of you just the same. Thank you.
Thank you,
Oh, and
Steve.
one more thing. Flood defenders, we really need to pay attention to flooding. Thank you.
Next speaker is Dan Kavanaugh.
Mr. Chairman, while Dan's coming, when the speaker speaks to committee of the whole, as chair, you get the opportunity to designate those things. I'm very proud of the effectiveness of procurement and the things that we've done and have effective government without coming and having meetings that takes away from our staff time of doing the work of the citizens and still getting the work of the people done. So we're very proud of the efficiencies that we brought with the eliminations of the committee of the whole. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely. Dan?
Good evening. I'm Dan Kavanaugh, my wife Sherry. I want to speak about Navy Point and parking. Let you know that we've had property in Navy Point along Baldwin Drive since 1977. We own 3 properties there. And we've had a number of years to observe issues that are associated with the park. And I want to thank every one of you for all the effort you've had to making that park as a more beautiful and wonderful place to enjoy. We are definitely opposed to any right-of-way parking on Baldwin. Having seen, and I want to speak now for Michael Semino, a 5-year-old boy that was killed some years ago because he darted out from behind some automobiles in that area. I want to speak to the automobile accidents that we've heard numerous times along that road. A Porsche launching itself over the top of a bollard over there by the Navy Point Park. Line of sight is a major issue there. Other issues that are associated with it are the lack of consideration on speed, monitoring what people are doing, taking the due care that they should be exercising in a residential neighborhood. Thank you very much for your service. Please, if there's any consideration on doing changes to that Navy Point Park, bring together the neighborhood as a whole so that we can have open discussions about it and get all viewpoints on the table where they need to be. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dan.
Mr. Chairman, if I can real quick.
Sure.
Dan, I agree with you. I got overwhelming overwhelming. There will be unless someone else gets up here without multiple public hearings and much more staff engagement. I got it. I heard it loud and clear. So thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is Eric Sharplin.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. I just want to come down tonight and thank Commissioner Lumen May. I think you did a great job as chairman, and I thank you for serving, sir. On this issue of parking, Mike, maybe hold a town hall dedicated to that issue and let everybody go over there and talk about it. Hopefully, it won't be like some people have done at WRC, end up in a free-for-all. But I can say that I'm proud of the county. We're in the right direction. I'm very confident with Mr. Berry as chairman, and we seem to have the best county administrator we've had in a long time. So I would say things are looking well for our county. All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. And Commissioner May, so just to let you know, this is not on the agenda, but you will be getting this tonight. Eric did put in a little bit on this plaque for the wall, so.
Thanks, Eric. I appreciate it. You've been a
we
great
did put it on
supporter.
there. Okay. All right.
I don't know why I hadn't gotten it yet, Eric, but maybe I'll eventually get it. Thanks.
We will not hold our breath, but it won't be too long.
Maybe I'll
probably.
get it. It depends on
Perhaps.
how this goes.
We'll see. Depends on whether we have a committee of the whole for you.
Yeah, maybe you can give it to me at the committee of the whole instead of here.
Our next speaker is Rita Welcome.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Rita Welcome, and I'm the Gulf Coast Veteran Advocacy Council Public Relations Coordinator. And I just want to make sure you get word of the Veterans Day Parade that's coming up next Saturday. And I have flyers for you all, and I'm also going to email it to you. And I want to thank you all for a superb job, you commissioners, that you guys are doing for the community. We really appreciate it. We really see your work that's being done, and may it speak for you all. But I just wanted to get this information to you to let you know that the Honorable Gary Bagosh will be our guest speaker this year at the Veterans Wall. We look forward to seeing you all. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rita. And Gary will do a great job. Next speaker is Adrian Scott. I apologize, Lumen Scott.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Lumen Scott. I am the brother of Adrian Scott. This is my sister Stephanie and my sister Demetrius. To the Honorable Lumen May, District 3. I won't go into any specifics concerning this situation involving my brother Adrian Scott, but I need to request a meeting with Commissioner May as soon as possible, and so that we can hash out the concerns in reference to that particular issue. For the most part, we are constituents of District 3, and I believe that Commissioner May, the Honorable Commissioner May, is doing an excellent job, and I'm looking forward to meeting him because this has been an ongoing issue, and it's time to bring some closure to it. Commissioner May, I don't know if you can respond or what have you, but if you can, we'd like to know when can you actually.
I'm not hard to find. Make an appointment with Audrey or Karen right there, and so, yeah. So, okay, yeah, and it's fine. Just set the appointment and we'll be there.
Okay.
And we've met.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, we're not going to do this. I mean, in a public forum. We're not going to do this in a public forum. We certainly recognize the ability and authority that we have, and I'm not going to have a judiciary conversation, but I'll be happy to meet with you again, and you know that.
That'll be fine, Commissioner May.
And so,
Okay.
thank you.
And whom do we need to?
You can get with Audrey, and so I don't meet with angry people. I meet with people that all understand where we're going to meet at, and so we know that, Lumen. So, indeed, you know that. I've done a lot and tried to help. So, if you set an appointment, I'll meet. You know, one thing about me, I'll meet with anybody.
Okay, Commissioner May.
As a matter of fact, if you wait till after the meeting tonight, I'll meet with you tonight. And matter of fact, I'm happy to meet.
That'll
meet
work.
with you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I ain't never ran from nothing. All right, thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Board. That's all the speakers. We'll reconvene 5:30.